Welcome to freedomalcohol.com. My name is Sam French and I have been aiming to be free from alcohol since January 2015 with a few blips along the way. You join me here, week 2 talk, and I have been free. I'm celebrating being free from alcohol for 2 weeks and a little bit. It was 2 weeks ago on a Wednesday that I quit forever, and I'm very happy to say that the second week that I have had free from alcohol has been a lot better in terms of specifically the kick, as I call it, the lasting addictive nature of alcohol has gradually worn off. It's still there in small spurts of cravings, but it has worn off nicely. So please be reassured that as you get through your second and third weeks, and it does vary for different people, but the feelings of the cravings do go away, they curve off, and they reduce as time goes on. And I'm very grateful for this, and this is a real benefit of being free from alcohol. During this, the second week, I had experienced a few ups and downs in my moods, and I've been able to deal with this. They have been quite fleeting and passing. So for example, when I watched the rugby the other week, I had this craving that I wanted to drink alcohol. And when I reflected on it, I thought about it, and I thought actually that was more to do with the behaviour. The fact that I always associated watching rugby with having a few pints. So that soon passed, and I enjoyed the rugby. It's been a beautiful September, and I am very thankful in the UK that I've been able to enjoy these beautiful days with a more fresh mind, a more clear mind. During the last week, my mind has been a lot clearer. I have been a lot more focused, and things around being anxious have reduced, so I feel less anxious in my life. What I would say is, though, for me personally, and this will vary depending on the individual, that I have felt quite tired, and particularly in the afternoons, so after lunch, which is a natural point anyway for the body to feel tired, but more so now I'm free from alcohol. I put this down to the fact that the body is merely adjusting to the changes in the chemistry and makeup, and that takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of work for the body to adjust to this change, where you might have been drinking alcohol for years and years, even decades, and now you're saying, I'm going to remove this drug, which amazing body you've got used to and you've dealt with for all this time for me and my silly habits. I'm going to remove it from you, and you're going to have to adjust again. This whole process has made me realise how amazing the human body is, and how amazing it is at dealing with you putting toxins into your body. It's just incredible. I don't buy into all these fad diets and detoxification, this and that and the other, because the body is just amazing. Your organs are there to do that for you, and I've really experienced that during the last week and a half. I hope you're all well, and I hope you're considering quitting if you haven't already. Get that date down. You will look back 2 weeks later and go, why didn't I do this earlier? One of the most difficult things to do is to nail down that quit date. But I think it's a really important thing for you to do, because without nailing it down and physically writing it down and committing to a date when you are going to quit, it's not going to happen. It might sound very simple, but that is fact. That is my experience of it, and that's what I'll share with you. You have to agree with those closest to you and yourself that this is the date when I am going to quit, because you'll need to hold yourself accountable. As many of you will have heard in my previous videos, I talk about the fact that willpower alone will not be enough to make you quit. However, there is a caveat to this, and I would say that the one thing that you will need when quitting on your start date is a bit of willpower. This will fade over time, but by nailing down that date, you can put in your willpower, because the only part of quitting alcohol where you need willpower is the initial getting rid of that kick, because you will come across the cravings and you will need to deal with them and have a plan in place as to what you will do when you get those cravings. So, for example, one of the things that I've done in the last week is where I had a craving, I would divert and focus by going out for a walk, going for a run, or completely avoiding that particular situation that I used to associate alcohol with. So, for example, being in the kitchen at 6 o'clock, cooking, I associate with drinking alcohol, so I changed that time, avoided that point, and did something different. So you'll need to think about how you can do that to avoid getting into that trap when you get those cravings. So you will need your willpower with the initial cravings, and as your body removes itself from the drug and you go completely free from alcohol. Once you're free from alcohol, it becomes less about willpower and more about realizing that the benefits of being free from alcohol are greater than the benefits of drinking alcohol for you. And this is at the root of everything that I believe in terms of quitting. Whether it's smoking, whether it's reducing eating, whether it's giving up the drink, you have to realize that the benefits are greater than the benefits of continuing the way in which you are. I think also the second thing, which has come to light again through this process, is the fact that you cannot feel that you are losing something. Because as soon as the mind thinks about losing something, it wants it. So you tell somebody who's got an eating problem not to eat, or if they think that, so let's say they're trying to lose weight and you tell them they have let's explain this better. Somebody who is stopping eating, if they feel that they are losing out by this process, they're never going to reduce their weight, because eating is intrinsically a happy thing to do, and therefore it still needs to be celebrated and enjoyed. And it's the same with alcohol, that when you quit, if you feel a great sense of loss and downness, it's just not going to work. It's about focusing on the positives as a result of quitting. It's about realizing the benefits of having more time, of having a clearer head. It's about realizing that going back will just mean that you will be back in square one, and your abilities will be reduced, your abilities to work will be reduced, you'll have less time to yourself. So a real focus on the benefits. I'm a late night tonight at work, and to be honest, at the moment I don't feel like doing that. And that's simply because it's a beautiful day and there's a bit of pressure at work going on at the moment. It's really important during these times to remain and to have a firm foundation. A foundation that you know that whatever else happens, you've still got yourself, you've still got your alcohol freedom, you've still got the things around you that make you happy. So please, I'd advise you in the first 2 weeks to take time out just to think, to be grateful for what you do have. I'm grateful for this beautiful day. I'm grateful for the wonderful countryside that I live in. I'm grateful that I just dropped off my daughters and that I'm able to do this. I'm grateful that I currently have my health. And I'm grateful that I have a job. And I'm grateful for my wife and my family. And I'm grateful just to be here in this world, in this point, at this time, and to be present in this moment. And that's it. And the more you can do that, the more you can be mindful of your presence and your time here on this earth. Have faith in whatever you believe in, whether that's a God or just the solar system or the soul or anything. Just be present, be happy, be in the moment. It's an easy thing to say, but I've learned over time that it's more and more about this. Living is more and more about doing that, and happiness is found through that. I'm going to stop now because this has been a bit of a ramble with some random topics coming up that perhaps I needed to describe better, but this is just what's coming over my head at the moment. And with the future posts, which I hope to do on a weekly basis, we'll start to do what I used to do, which is to throw up some questions. So for example, how do you deal with cravings? How do you know what your triggers are and how do you deal with them? How do you realise the benefits of alcohol? So I want to go back to focusing on specific questions as I settle into my freedom and go free forever. But for now, I wish you well. Have a good weekend. Thank you for listening to Freedom Alcohol.